You know that guy who doesn't say much, doesn't dress flashy, doesn't post his life on social media, yet somehow women are drawn to him like gravity? Not because he's rich, not because he's tall, not because he has some secret playbook. There's something else happening, something most men will never notice because they're too busy trying to be noticed. I'm talking about a silent signal, a frequency, something you send out before you even open your mouth. And here's the part that will make you pause. The men who understand this signal don't chase women. They don't need to. Women lean into them. Women start conversations with them. Women remember them days later. If you've ever watched a quiet guy at a party and thought, what does he have that I don't? Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what that signal is, why it works on a psychological level, and more importantly, how you can start sending it today. Before we go deeper, let me introduce myself properly. I'm here on Mind of Connection, and this channel is where we decode the real psychology behind attraction, human connection, and the invisible forces that pull people together. If you're tired of surface-level advice and you want to understand what actually creates emotional bonds between men and women, you're exactly where you need to be. Hit that subscribe button and stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share isn't just theory. It's a pattern I've observed across hundreds of real interactions, and once you see it, you'll never unsee it. Let me paint a picture for you. Two men walk into the same room, same height, same outfit, same level of attractiveness, technically speaking. Man A walks in scanning the room. His shoulders are slightly forward. He's looking for who to talk to. He's planning his approach. His energy is searching, seeking, needing. Man B walks in differently. His shoulders are relaxed. He's not scanning. He's just there, comfortable in space. He notices things. A painting on the wall. The music playing. The way the light hits the room. He's present. Now, here's what most people miss. Women don't choose based on who approaches first. They choose based on who feels safe to approach. Man A is sending a signal of need. And need, even when it's subtle, creates pressure. Pressure makes people want to step back. Man B is sending a signal of presence. And presence, genuine presence, creates curiosity. Curiosity makes people want to step closer. This is the silent signal. Presence over performance, being overdoing. And it's not about being introverted or extroverted. I've seen loud, charismatic men who have terrible presence, and I've seen quiet men who fill a room without saying a word. The difference is internal. It's about where your attention lives. Let me explain why this works on a brain level. Human beings are wired with something called mirror neurons. When we're around someone, our brains unconsciously mirror their internal state. If someone is anxious, we feel anxious. If someone is calm, we feel calm. When you walk into a room needing validation, needing attention, needing to prove something, people's nervous systems pick that up. It happens below conscious thought. They might not know why, but they feel slightly uncomfortable around you. But when you walk in fully present, not needing anything from anyone, something magical happens. People's nervous systems relax around you. They feel safe. And safety is the foundation of every single attraction that ever existed. Think about it. When do you feel most attracted to someone? Is it when they're trying to impress you? Or is it when they're so comfortable being themselves that you feel comfortable being yourself? The answer is obvious when you think about it. But here's the trap most men fall into. They think presence means being passive. They think it means not talking, not engaging, not showing interest. That's not presence. That's fear wearing a mask. Real presence is active. It's engaging, it's noticing, it's responding, but it's not performing. It's not trying to create an outcome. It's simply being there, fully, with whoever is in front of you. Let me give you 3 specific ways to send this silent signal in any conversation. These aren't lines to memorize. They're shifts in how you show up. Signal 1. The pause before you speak. Most men rush to fill the silence. They answer immediately. They plan their next sentence while the other person is still talking. Their energy is always ahead of the moment. Try this instead. When someone finishes speaking, take a breath, just one. Let their words land. Let the moment breathe. Then respond. That pause does something powerful. It tells the other person, I'm actually here. I'm not just waiting for my turn to talk. I'm processing what you said. That feeling of being truly heard is rare, and rarity creates value. Signal 2, the soft eye contact. Not staring, not looking away nervously. Soft eye contact. Here's the difference. Hard eye contact feels like examination. It creates pressure. Soft eye contact feels like an invitation. It creates connections. Practice this. When you're listening to someone, let your eyes rest gently on theirs. Don't lock on. Don't scan the room. Just rest there. Allow your expression to shift naturally with what they're saying. If they say something surprising, let your eyes widen slightly. If they say something vulnerable, let your gaze soften. Your eyes should say, I'm with you, not I'm evaluating you. Signal 3. The relaxed body. Your body speaks before your mouth does, and most men are broadcasting tension without realizing it. Tight shoulders, leaning forward too eagerly, fidgeting, checking the phone. These are all signals of discomfort, and discomfort is contagious. Instead, practice what I call open posture. Shoulders back, but relaxed. Weight evenly distributed, hands visible and calm. A slight lean back when listening, a slight lean forward when sharing something meaningful. This body language says, I'm comfortable here. I'm comfortable with you. You can be comfortable too. Now, let's talk about what happens when you combine presence with actual conversation. Because presence alone isn't enough. You need to know how to speak from that place. Most conversations follow a pattern. Question, answer, question, answer. It's an interview. It's mechanical. It creates no emotional space. When you're present, you break that pattern. You don't just answer questions. You expand moments. You create space for feeling. Let me give you an example. She says, so, what do you do? Most men answer directly. I'm in marketing. Or, I'm a software engineer. Then they wait for the next question. But a man with presence answers differently. He might say, I help companies tell stories that actually matter to people. It's funny because I never planned to do this. I fell into it after a conversation that changed how I saw everything. See what happened there? He answered the question, but he added texture. He added a story. He added emotion. He created a doorway for her to walk through if she wants to. And here's the key. He doesn't push her through that doorway. He just leaves it open. If she wants to ask, what was the conversation? She can. If she wants to move on, that's fine too. Presence means creating opportunities without needing them to be taken. Let me share something that might surprise you. Most men think attraction comes from strength, from confidence, from never showing weakness. And yes, strength matters. But strength without vulnerability is just a wall, and walls keep people out. The most magnetic men I've ever observed have a strange quality. They're confident, yes, but they're also honest about their flaws. Not performatively, not for sympathy, just honestly. For example, instead of pretending he has everything figured out, he might say, I used to be terrible at this. I would overthink every conversation. I still do sometimes. That admission does something powerful. It creates trust. It says, I'm not performing for you. I'm showing you the real me. And when someone feels they're seeing the real you, they feel special. They feel chosen. And feeling chosen is one of the deepest human desires. But here's the crucial detail. Vulnerability only works when it comes from strength. If you're crying about your problems, that's not vulnerability. That's need. If you're calmly acknowledging a flaw while still being okay with yourself, that's power. The difference is subtle but everything. There's a type of listening that most people never experience. I call it reflective listening. It's not just hearing words. It's hearing the emotion underneath the words. It's noticing what she didn't say. It's feeling the weight of her pauses. When you practice this, something shifts in the conversation. She starts sharing more. She starts going deeper because she senses that you're not just waiting for information. You're actually receiving her. Here's a simple way to practice this. When she finishes a story, don't immediately respond with your own story. Instead, reflect back what you heard. You seemed really frustrated when that happened. Or, it sounds like that meant more to you than you expected. Or even just, that must have been hard. These responses are simple, but they're rare, because most people are too busy thinking about what they're going to say next to actually hear what was just said. When you reflect, you create a mirror. And in that mirror, she sees herself more clearly. She feels understood. And understanding is the fastest path to connection. Let me talk about something that sounds a bit mystical, but is actually rooted in psychology. Every conversation has an energy. Either you're giving energy, taking energy, or sharing energy. Most men are taking energy. They're seeking validation. They're looking for signs that she's interested. They're draining the interaction with their needs. Some men are giving energy. They're entertaining. They're performing. They're trying to impress. This feels better than taking, but it's still one-sided. She's receiving, but she's not participating. The rarest men are sharing energy. They're present, they're listening, they're responding, but they're also receiving. They're enjoying the conversation for what it is, not for what it might lead to. When two people share energy, the conversation becomes alive. It has its own rhythm, its own momentum. Time disappears, and that's the moment when real connection happens. You can feel this when it happens. The conversation stops feeling like work. It starts feeling like play. You stop worrying about what to say next. Words just come. That state is called flow. And flow is the most attractive state a human being can be in. Here's something most men don't realize. The silent signal doesn't just work at the moment. It creates a lasting impression. Think about the people you remember most clearly. Are they the ones who talk the most, or are they the ones who made you feel the most? We don't remember words. We remember feelings. We remember how someone made us feel about ourselves. When you're fully present with someone, you give them a gift. The gift of feeling interesting, the gift of feeling heard, the gift of feeling safe. And here's the beautiful part. When you give someone that gift, they associate you with that feeling. Days later, when they think about you, they don't remember exactly what you said, but they remember how they felt around you, and they want to feel that again. This is why some men seem to have effortless success with women. It's not because they're doing more. It's because they're leaving emotional imprints that last. Okay, let's bring this down to earth. How do you actually start practicing this today? Start small. Pick one conversation this week, just one, and commit to being fully present for it. That means no phone, no planning your next sentence, no worrying about how you're coming across. Just be there. Notice the color of her eyes. Notice the way she moves her hands when she talks. Notice the pauses between her words. Let yourself be curious about who she actually is, not who you want her to be. And when you respond to what you actually noticed. Not what you think she wants to hear, what you actually saw. If she seems nervous, acknowledge it gently. You seem a little nervous. That's okay. I am too sometimes. If she lights up talking about something, lean into that. I can tell that really matters to you. What is it about that draws you in? These responses aren't clever. They're honest. And in a world full of performance, honesty is the most refreshing thing there is. Before we wrap this up, I want to ask you something, and I really want you to think about it. Think back to the last conversation you had where you felt truly seen, where someone was so present with you that you forgot to be self-conscious, where the conversation felt easy, natural, almost effortless. What was different about that person? What did they do that made you feel that way? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious because the stories you share often reveal the most powerful truths about human connection. And who knows, your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. Listen, the world is full of men trying to be impressive, trying to be memorable, trying to be chosen. But the men who actually get chosen aren't trying at all. They're just present. They're just real. They're just there. And that presence, that realness, that willingness to simply be with another person without needing anything from them, that's the silent signal. That's what draws people in. That's what creates connection. That's what builds attraction that lasts. If this conversation resonated with you, if you felt something shift while watching this, then you know this channel is for you. Mind of Connection is where we explore the deeper psychology of human connection, not quick fixes or cheap tricks. Subscribe, join this community, and let's continue this journey together. Because when presence replaces performance, people feel it immediately, and that feeling is what quietly draws them closer. I'll see you in the next conversation. Until then, be present, be real, and watch what happens.